E agora, então, eu vou chamar o Dr. Fei Wang. O Dr. Fei, ele é doutor em Data Mining, né? Então, eu vou pedir licença que eu vou falar um pouco de inglês aqui, porque a apresentação dele vai ser realmente em inglês. E ele é da equipe de acesso global da JDRF, né? Então, a parceira aqui neste nosso evento de hoje, ele vai trazer esses dados inéditos sobre o diabetes tipo 1 no Brasil, esses dados que são parte do T1D Index, que é um estudo global que foi feito e que vai ser lançado agora em setembro. Então, muito obrigado por vir aqui fazer a sua apresentação, Dr. Fei Wang, e trazer né, de forma antecipada esses dados para o nosso conhecimento. Thank you very much. So the floor is yours, and we are very excited to have this data coming from T1D Index before it's launching. It's great to have this opportunity to watch this presentation from you. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Mark. I'm really happy to be here, and thank you for making time for us to talk to you today. I feel extremely honored to speak to such esteemed group, and I'm really excited to share with you guys some of the T1D index data for Brazil before the official launch next month. Let me quickly share my screen. So let's talk about the index. So what is the index, T1D index? So some of you already know, and to some it's new. So basically, it is the first time we have built a tool at the global community to let us understand how many people have T1D, almost for every country, and how well they live with T1D. And with the tool, you can measure how much difference that different interventions could make to improve the T1D community. So we are really excited to share with you, and it is coming out next month, 14th September. And alongside with the Lancet publication that has been peer-reviewed, and which will cover all the methodology and most of the results in the paper and the appendix, which is a humongous length. So let's move on. So why? So why we are so excited? So there are a few points that we are really excited, okay? So one, it's groundbreaking. So we now have estimates for every country for the first time. So you notice that in this new model, we have the term not just prevalence, like the number of people living with T1D, but we also have the estimates for missing people and healthy years lost. So I'll cover those two data points later in detail for Brazil. So this is what we are trying to do, is bring the patient perspective to the full, and help make the epidemiology not just an exercise of doing it to the people with T1D, but doing it with. So now the second thing we are really excited is how we come up and prepared this data index. So it has been a humongous joint effort together, not just JDRF, but together with IDF, ISPAD, Life for a Child, and lots of great people involved. So what did we do? We went through almost 400 different studies, like going back all the way to 1890. So and those smart people from the collaborators, like epidemiologists, data scientists, strategists, they all helped to interpret those 400 studies and help to produce the estimates in the index. So methodology-wise, it's like simply going through. We gather, clean the data from the studies. We use traditional statistical method to clean the data, get the confidence intervals and medians and means, everything. We feed some of the data into a machine learning model to model how the standard mortality rate looks like across the years and also across the age. And then after we like imputed most of the inputs needed for estimation. We feed those things into a Markov chain. Basically, it's a year-over-year iterational model. You know, with background mortality and background population, you multiply the incidence rate, standard mortality, you get the incidence, prevalence, and mortality numbers. So we are confident and excited also because that those estimates we produced seems to be really good. So, and that is by comparing our estimates against registry data across 15 countries. And that's also in the paper. You'll check later. So and we found the average difference against those registry data is about 6%. And we know the 6% is pretty good because the next best estimates are around average 35% by comparison. So we are really excited. It's like currently the most accurate model yet produced for T1D diabetes. So moving next. So now we are looking at the key 3 data points for Brazil. So you can see that this is like a screenshot from the dashboard that we are building. It's now actually showing you each state of Brazil already. But at the state, but currently the number on the top, the 3 numbers are on the country level. Okay, so the first number, 564,000 people living with T1D, and the next number, around 228,000 people missing. 33 years lost for a person who developed T1D at age 10. So what do they mean? So 564,000. That's basically the people living with T1D, the estimate we have, which is basically a product from the incidence studies we gathered, we cleaned and produced by Dr. Carlos Nagarato. And and you can see we have been looking at the things. The incidence in Brazil has been growing quickly, and for example, compared to say the United States, so the incidence is relatively lower, but Brazil have a higher mortality with T1D compared to the States. So basically, we have an estimate that is about a third of the size of T1D population in the United States, given that Brazil population is about 2/3 of the United States. Okay, that's the prevalence. And moving to missing prevalence. So the missing prevalence definition is novel. It's basically defined as the number of people who would be alive if not for the impact of T1D diabetes. So we called that number previously as ghost. Now we are calling that missing. But to fully understand the word missing prevalence, you have to go through this sentence a few times and really understand it's not like the death of the year or cumulative deaths happened. It's really the people who should still be alive if they are healthy as a background population. So this number is quite high, right? We can see that it's 228,000. Basically, it means for every 2 persons that is living with T1D now in Brazil, a third people is not alive today because of T1D. So that's the best way to interpret that. So, and you know, ideally they should be alive if they have been receiving the best care, right? And they're not having the best care due to lots of factors, right? Like, for example, non-diagnosis at onset, people receiving low standard of care. You know, people don't have awareness in lots of regions of Brazil. And all that adds up to the missing prevalence. And also that lack of care and non-diagnosis accumulate into this 33 healthy years lost. So it's converted to this 33 years lost, healthy years lost. Like it has a few factors inside. Like we measure the life expectancy of background population and T1D population. We measure how much complication they spend with the disease and how many complications that can happen after you have T1D. and convert that into the years lost for a person at 10 years old. Now, lastly, the last slide. So now how this index can help you, okay? There are 3 points we are having here, right? So first, it helps you to read in terms of raising awareness. You know, even though I cannot understand the most I don't talk Portuguese, but I definitely am sure that what you guys has been talking about, this data that we are producing is directly or indirectly relevant to you. So second area is to help you in driving actions. For example, that we know that you are helping the T1D community by having conversation, persuading government and payers to improve the standard of care across the country, and other than Brazil, we have already seen that lots of international governmental bodies used our data and the platforms to assess different policies and proposals with T1D diabetes. And we definitely encourage you to do the same and use our data in the same way for Brazil. And we are here to help. Like, we dedicated our whole energy to build this platform to get the best estimate in here, and we are here to help you. So last thing to mention is that we ask you to also help improve the data. You know, this is the first time this type of estimates has been here, and we believe it's the most accurate, but we are definitely aware of some of the factors. For example, the instance studies we used are only from Sao Paulo, okay, from the studies we are using. And lots of the mortality studies are like based on the overall performance of a healthcare system, rather than like the specific performance relevant to T1D care only. Okay. So those are the 3 items. And for any of the 3 items here, we love to hear from you. And also, if you have something, reach us at hello@t1dindex.org. And that's all for my presentation today, and thank you all.
Dr. Wang, thank you very much for your presentation. We see that there is still a lot to do here. It is, you know, it complements what Professor Marília Brito presented in the beginning of our event, and we see that, you know, there is opportunity to do better in diabetes, type 1 diabetes care in Brazil. And obviously we have evolved a lot, but there is now opportunity to do more and to do better. E agora eu vou voltar a falar em português, né? Muito interessante, muito importante a gente ter esses dados, né? E muito obrigado, thank you very much, a JDRF, por trazer esses dados antecipadamente ao Brasil, né? E não é por acaso que eles entraram nessa parceria com a ADJ para trazer antecipadamente, mas por uma preocupação real de que o Brasil é o 3º país com o maior número de pessoas com diabetes tipo 1, né? E o Brasil, ao mesmo tempo, tem um sistema de saúde, né, que é um modelo de cobertura universal, que é o que é proposto globalmente para que se tenha né, uma atenção de qualidade à saúde das pessoas e uma atenção que não discrimine, né, mas que atenda a todos, né, mas, ao mesmo tempo, como a gente viu nos dados do Dr. Wang e da professora Marília, a gente tem aí, né, um número de pessoas, né, que estão desenvolvendo complicações muito cedo, apresentou a doutora Marília, e o Dr. Wang apresentou pessoas que não estão vivas e poderiam estar, né, mas devido ao diabetes tipo 1, infelizmente, acabam passando por, né, acabam tendo aí essa morte prematura por, né, pela atenção aí que poderia eventualmente né, ser melhor, né? Acho que é bastante impressionante o dado que ele compartilha conosco, que são 33 anos diminuídos, né, na vida da pessoa. Então, né, a expectativa de vida da pessoa com diabetes tipo 1 no Brasil, ela é reduzida em 33 anos, né? Certamente, algo que a gente gostaria, né, de mudar rapidamente, né, de estar aqui, né, razão pela qual estamos aqui, para que juntos podemos pensar, então, em como avançar nesses cuidados, né, e mudar essa realidade.